Welcome to the next episode of Life You Have. Today we're going to do the Manhood Advanced Training course. This is the course after you watch the Manhood Basic Training courses. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. They'll give you the foundations of everything, and that'll get you ready to do the advanced course. All right? So you're a man. All right? You've worked all your life, you've done all this, or maybe you're a young boy. So my question is how many foundations of life does a man have? Now, these foundations, these pillars of life, are broken down. This is what men are supposed to put their energy into. Just a hint, there's 5. All right. God created 5 areas of earth, right? When he first created earth, he created the water. Water covered the earth. All right. Day 2, created the sky and the land. All right. And on day 3, he created vegetation on the land. He started working the land. Day 4, sun and the moon. All right. So those 5 areas for man, the water is his family. It's what you're born with, right? That's your family. The next is sky. Those are the friends. Those are the people you bring into your life as you grow up through life. These are your friends, the people in and out. They can go away, they can come back, friends. The land, this is your finances. This is what most men spend most of their time on, is on the land. They spend time working and making money, right? The next one is the sun. This is your faith. Sun affects everything, right? It affects the sky, the earth, the water. Sun affects everything. Your faith affects everything. The moon is your fitness. That's your body's fitness. Okay, you need to work on it. And as the moon has its own phases, you have phases in your body too. When you're young, you can't do very much. Then as you get older, you get stronger, right? You get to exercise, do all this, and then toward the end of your life, you start getting less and less active. Just the way it goes. So those are the 5 areas. Now the question is, how do I know those are the 5 areas? Where did that come from? I'm going to show you. The Bible tells us all. All right? The book of Job. Now, maybe you don't know the story of the book of Job, but according to the Bible, and like I said, you don't have to believe in the Bible, but every story has hints of truth in it, and everyone needs to think about it. But anyway, it says that, God and Satan were talking basically, and God said, "Did you see my boy Job down there? He's so great, he loves me." And Satan basically says, "It's because you protect him. If you stop protecting him and let me do what I want to him, he'll hate you." So God said, "Go ahead, just don't kill him." Right? So the first thing Satan took from Job was his finances. He had marauders come in and take the sheep, the oxen, everything he had bought all his life and created, took it all away. And then he found out that his family was at the oldest son's home, and wind came in and blew the walls down, and everything crashed and killed everybody. So he lost his family. All right. And then he made him become sick, boils on his skin. So he lost his health. And then his friends all turned on him. His friends started saying, "Look, you should just kill yourself. Hey, you should just tell God to F off." They started to turn their back on Job and everything that he's shown them through the years. So he lost his finances, his family, he lost his health, his fitness, and he lost his friends. The 5th, and the thing that Satan was trying to destroy, was his faith. The thing is, faith is your choice. No one can take your faith from you. You choose it. And it's very important for men to understand that. You choose your faith, and it's up to you to grow your faith. All right? I don't care if it's Christianity, if it's Judaism, if it's Muslim, if it's Hindu, if it's atheism, if it's creationism. I don't care what your faith is in, but you've got to have faith. That is the 5th level of life, or foundation of life. So it's very important to develop your faith, because that is the one thing in this world they can't take from you, is your faith, what you believe. All right? So anything you do outside of those 5 things is a waste of time. All right? Anything you do out of those 5 areas that you can't justify in those 5 areas of your life is just a waste of your time. Think about it. Chasing girls for sex. Where does sex fall in those 5 areas? It doesn't. And every man who's older will tell you When they chased women in their 20s and did all that, it was a waste of time. It didn't help them at all. Smoking, drinking, drugs, all these things. How can you fit them in those 5 areas of your life? If you can't fit them in there for a reason, you're wasting your time. Men need to focus on those 5 areas. Young boys need to focus on those 5 areas. You need to grow those 5 areas in your life to grow up to be a good man. It's just how it works. All right. Then on the 6th day, he created the animals on the land and he created a man. He didn't create a boy. God created a man. Because see, what God was trying to show you is after you develop those five areas, right? And you create on those things in your land, you create animals, you create bigger stuff, and you get good friends and you have good family, right? Family, friends, your health is good, your your faith, everything's. That is when you become a man. When you have those things accomplished and foundations are built. If you don't have the foundation of family built, you're not a man. If you don't have the foundations of friends built, you're not a man. If you don't have your fitness straight, you're not a man. If you don't have your finances straight, you're not a man. If you aren't strong in your faith, you're not a man. So when you get all that done, that's how you become a man, and you're created that man, just as God created man. All right. On the So on the 5th day, he created the animals in the sea and the sky. I forgot about the 5th day. I skipped from 4 to 6, right? But anyway, so you can see how before he ever created man, he already developed those areas. He created the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the plants and vegetation, and the animals, right? He developed all of that, and then he developed man. So this is why a man is last in the creation, because God, in the book of Genesis chapter 1, that is the roadmap of how to become a man. Starts with the stuff I talked about in the manhood basic training, the spark of light, let there be life or light, a vision, you know, and then breaking it down into those 5 areas, working those 5 areas, developing those 5 areas, and then you become a man. It's just the roadmap. It's right there. But nobody wants to look at the Bible because the Bible's cheesy or whatever. And churches and religion have tried to tell people what the Bible says instead of telling people the Bible is the guidebook of life. You don't have to believe in God. You just have to understand what it says. It's that simple. All right. You will never be a man until you achieve and create goals in all areas of your life. You have to do that. All right. So let's pretend your life is like this platform. All right. You're born, you're with your mom and dad on their platform. And when you get old enough to start having that spark, you get your own platform and you have to develop that platform. All right. So on that platform, you have 4 corners. Let's say you put 4 hot air balloons on each of those corners. That's your fitness, your friends, your family, and your finances. Okay, those 4 balloons go on there. The 5th balloon, your faith, is the big one in the middle, and it's connected to all 4 corners. Because here's the thing: you're strong in your faith. Let's say you're fit, you get sick. That faith will still hold up that corner for you. Or you lose your job. That faith will hold up your finances for you. Faith is what keeps everything going together. That's why it's very important. Like I said, I don't care what your faith is in. Don't care. But you got to have it. All right. So let's pretend each of those balloons on each corner is an infinite layered of balloons. All right. Thousands of balloons inside of balloons. All right. Every time you create a goal and you achieve that goal, you pop that inner balloon, allowing that next balloon, which is bigger, to get more hot air in it, which allows you to elevate that area of your life. Does that make sense? So, because the more hot air you got in that balloon, the higher you can go. So each layer represents a goal, and you pop them. Okay, your faith, your fitness, your finances, your family, and your friends. You start popping those balloons in those areas, up, 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 you go. When you achieve your goals, the balloons get bigger, allowing you to have bigger goals and bigger goals and bigger goals, and your life gets better and better. If you look at it like that, you can understand why it's important to set goals and achieve goals in all areas. Because if you just do finances and you don't do faith, you don't do friends, and your finances, your whole life gets off kilter. If you just do family, right? This, right? So, but if you do all of them, you go up and it's stable. It's a good life. All right. So this is right here depicts a whole bunch of hot air balloons, and what this is, it shows you all the men in the world. Everybody's trying to lift their balloons. Everybody's working hard. Everybody, and you're competing against them. You want to get higher than them. You got to work harder than them. You got to put in more air than them. You got to do more goals than them. You have to do the work to get higher and higher. You sitting there and you're looking at all your friends. Oh, he has this good job. Oh, he does this. And you start looking at all, they're all so much better than you. And you barely have done anything since high school. Why? Because you haven't put in the time and the effort in each areas of those lives to elevate your life. Okay. So now let's talk about relationships, because relationships are very important. Okay. You have relationships in your family. You have relationships between you and your friends. You have romantic relationships. You have business relationships. You even have relationships in your faith. And this is going to shock a lot of Christians out there. But yeah, you have a relationship with God. The question is how do you build those relationships? How do you make them? Relationships are built on goals. When you and someone else have the same goal and are working toward the same goal together, your relationship is connected. Think about the convenience store guy. Okay, you go in to buy a soda and you go in and you both have the same goal. He has a goal of checking you out as fast as possible so you can go on about your day. You have a goal of being checked out as fast as possible so you can go on about your day. You both share a same goal. Now, the first time you go in there, real quick and easy, hey, how you doing? And gone. Over time, you keep going back and doing the same thing and the same goals and the same goals. Maybe you get a gallon of milk. Maybe you do this, bigger goals, bigger. And then all of a sudden you build a relationship with that guy. You know his name is Frank. He knows your name is John, right? You know he has a girlfriend. He knows you have a son because you've shared things with each other because you started building a relationship. Now, this is a professional relationship because he's at work and you're a customer. So, but you start building that bond and it's that quick and that simple. But that's how you are with your family too. If you have brothers and sisters, but you're not close with them because they do their thing, you do your thing, well, you're not building relationships because you're not on the same goals, right? Your friends. How do you choose your friends, right? Friends are supposed to have similar interests. But if you're at school and you ain't got no interest in these people, but you're hanging out with them, being friends with them, but you really don't like the fact that they drink or that they do drugs or they go have sex, you don't really like that they do these things, but you don't want to be alone, so you just accept it. Well, that's not a relationship. You're just using them not to be lonely. So what you got to do is find people with similar interests as you. Find people that believe the same stuff as you and work on something together. Build a relationship together. All right? Romantic, same thing. You and a girl or whatever you prefer, right? But anyway, you both meet and you got to make sure that you have similar interests, that you have similar goals, that you have this is one of the things the Bible says something about being unequally yoked. Now, Christians, churches, and all that will say, "Oh, it's about religion." No, it's about all aspects of your life. If she doesn't have the same faith as you, or she doesn't have the same fitness goals as you, or she doesn't have the same financial goals as you, she doesn't have the same family goals as you, she doesn't like friends, how can you be together? But I love her. Okay, come on, really. Think about it. How can you grow if you're never growing together? This is one of the reasons, and I know it's going to make a lot of people upset, because men are supposed to be doing this since as early as they can, making goals, making plans, and achieving those goals. That then affects their life and their romantic life later. That's why men usually are in charge of the household because they make the goals, they do this. The women help them achieve that goal. That's the way it's supposed to work. And as you're both working to achieve those goals, you're getting closer and closer together. It's like a triangle. Your goal's up here, right? The triangle's like this. You're here, she's over here. And as you get closer and closer to achieving that goal, guess what? You get closer and closer together. So, and even your faith. Let's say your faith in God, right? How do you build a relationship with your faith? Well, you and your faith have to go toward the similar goals. What I like the story of David and Goliath. When David went out and picked up those three stones, you ask most people what those three stones are, they'll say, "Oh, that's God the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit." That's what they'll tell you, the Trinity. I don't look at it like that. I say the goal, one stone, kill Goliath. Other stone, David, and the other stone is God. This was David's reminder that him and God are working toward the goal of defeating Goliath. And if God is with me, who can be against me? I think that's really what it's about. It's about forming that triangle so you know that God is with you, your faith is with you, and you're working toward a similar goal. It's that simple. That's the way I feel about it anyway. All right. So now, like I said, do not yoke together with unbelievers. Well, I mean, if you're believing creationism and nature and all that, you don't believe in the divine Father or the Creator, then you and this other person can't be together because you don't believe the same faiths. If you don't believe in being rich and he wants to be rich, you're not going to be yoked together. You know, what do the righteous and the wicked have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? So it's very important that you pick and choose who you want to build a relationship on based on similar interesting goals. And make sure you build goals together. Make sure you're working toward goals together so that you guys can get closer together. Comes to friends, family, everything. Everything in your life, relationship wise with other people, are built on similar goals. But if you've never been a man making goals, how do you know? You never set goals in your life. How do you know what you want to do? How are you going to find friends? How are you going to do all that if you don't know? It's important to understand these things. And if you're not setting goals and making goals and bringing people into your life that can help you with those goals, yeah, you're not going to make real friends. Show me your friends, show you your future, right? If all your friends are drug, alcohol, sex fiends, I mean, what do you expect your life to be? You're building relationships with them. So it's simple. To me, either way, it's simple. It's hard, but it's simple. All right. So here you go. That's your flame. See, the flame of manhood, which you find out in the manhood based training course, you only get one flame. And a man moves that flame from balloon to balloon. All right. He's working on his faith. He's working on his family. He's working on his finances. He's working on his friends. He's working on his family. He's works on all these different goals. And he moves the flame around to get to work on each goal together. And he can aim higher. And the more goals you make, the aim higher, 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 higher elevation you go, the balloon just keeps going up and up and up. Your life just keeps going up and up because you're making the goals, you're doing all that stuff. It's great. All right. So that is the Manhood Advanced Training Course, the 5 areas of life: faith, fitness, finances, family, and friends. If you remember those 5 areas and you look at your life and you say, well, this fits in my faith, this fits in my family, this fits in my finances, this is my fitness, this fits. Okay, this over here doesn't fit. Well, I'm going to stop doing that because now you're cutting out the wasting time. You're cutting out wasting your time, your energy on things that aren't going to help you because you need to work on those 5 areas. And until you work on those 5 areas, you'll never be a man. You'll never be the man that you can be. Let's say it that way. All right. People like, we'll talk about Andrew Tate. We'll talk about Jay Waller. We'll talk about all these guys, and I'll break down these 5 areas for you, and I'll show you who's matching all 5, what's going on, and you'll see that is true because they talk about those 5 areas as well. So, anyway, that concludes this video. I hope you go back and watch the Manhood Basic Training course. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about these videos. Let's get more people in here. I really think this can change the course of history in the world. I believe that the knowledge in the Bible, whether you believe in the God or not, doesn't matter, but the knowledge is there to help all human beings. And I want to help all human beings. Like I said, I don't care what you believe. I have my faith, that's great. You have your faith, that's great. Doesn't mean we can't work together. All right? So, because we can build relationships on the other thing, on just the fact of making better men. We're going toward that same goal, we can build that relationship. So, thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.